About a year ago, the Overwatch 2 beta started, and since then we've gone through a lot of ups and downs. Now, while the future for Overwatch might look interesting, I also feel like the game is struggling with an identity crisis. Let me explain. Hey guys, I'm James from the Omnic Post. This video might ruffle some feathers, or trigger some really opposing reactions. There might even be some torrent fighters. Oh god, that is going to smell. So I want to make clear that the content of this video is an opinion, not a statement. It is an opinion based on experience, both my personal, but also the experience of the community around me. Overwatch is by its nature a very unique game. The heavy emphasis on team synergy, the very different heroes, the fast pace, all of those abilities, the lore behind the game, the future release of PvE, eventually. It is a very unique mix. And add to that this game looks like an interactive Pixar movie. Wow. You start to understand why it drew in so many people, especially Overwatch 1. It managed to gather people from all over the world, and it got them all excited. Overwatch 2 is doing okay when it comes to the numbers. They're at about 25 million active players every single month, which is, according to the latest quarterly financial results, the bigger part of Blizzard's active users. But they haven't managed to grab the audience the same way they did with Overwatch 1. I mean, a lot of us are having fun, but we all know it's not actually the same. Now, there's a ton of reasons for that, and we discussed all of them in the videos I made over the last 6 months. One element I think is overlooked is the fact that Overwatch seems to be struggling with an identity crisis. It is trying to be too much at the same time. An idea I have been chewing on for quite a while, but that became very apparent to me when I started lurking in other content creators' Twitch streams. Roughly put, I think there's two types of content creators / streamers. There's those that are very proficient, very skilled at the game, and then there's the people that have more of an entertainment value. Sometimes you get the mix of both. All of these creators have a role to play. They're all just as valuable. I myself am more of the entertaining type. I'm a casual plat player that is up to date on Overwatch, that has some unique insights, but that excels at making stupid jokes and sounding like Reinhardt. Overall, I still have a lot of fun playing Overwatch, but that is because my goals are rather different. I do not want to become a top 500 player. I want to do fun stuff. I want to run into weird situations, get a lucky shot, and pop the eardrums of my teammates because I'm laughing so loud. Because trust me, if I want to become a top 500 player, I can't even fake it. So when you watch my streams, you might see the occasional frustration when we lose too many games. 5 minutes later, I'm already discussing my favorite cheesecake while charging off the map. A true fact, by the way. But when I watch those more skilled streamers, I feel this frustration on a general level. And I mean, it's not with all of them and all the time, but there is like a sense of emptiness. This is of course because they do this on a daily basis. It's their job. At some point it becomes a routine. But then this one time I heard Flats say that he feels like he doesn't have any goals anymore within Overwatch. And of course he's talking about content creation in general, but also about the game, which had me thinking. I mean, I can understand where he's coming from. I do see what he's saying. For those people that get most of their enjoyment out of Overwatch from that competitive feature, the game might be lacking right now. Again, due to a myriad of reasons that we have discussed in previous videos. But the root cause of all of this is the game struggling with an identity crisis. Overwatch is trying to be both a casual and a competitive game. Look at the heroes, the lore, the humor, and especially PvE. Whenever it releases, those are very casual elements. I don't want to say that they're easy, they're more casual. And a lot of the more recent changes have been driven towards that competitive part. And don't get me wrong, I think Overwatch needs both. I personally, as a casual player, do enjoy the competitive element of Overwatch to a certain extent. And I think it works in the other way around. Some really heavy competitive players will enjoy pieces of lore or find an event interesting. I just feel that at some point, Overwatch will have to make a choice. Is it going to go the Fortnite route? I know it's a dirty word, but listen, where the bigger part of their content is focused on fun experiences, aimed at a wider range of people. Or is it going to become more like Valorant, where the competitive part is the backbone of the whole game? Overwatch is not the only one, by the way. In my opinion, I think Apex Legends is more veered towards the competitive, but they are kind of in the same boat. I just feel like it's really hard to try and be everything. I've seen a lot of other games trying to do it, and it seems to fail every single time, which doesn't mean that it will fail this time. On the other hand, we've seen those issues with balancing heroes for both the high-level players and the low-level players, how that clashes at times. Look at Sojourn. She was overpowered for the top, like Grandmaster and Master players, but on the lower levels she was just underwhelming. Which leads to a frustrating experience for both those groups, and for the developers it's a bit of a headache. They need to solve that issue, which is their job, and they get energy out of that, but I mean, I do think there has been some cursing going on while they were doing that. But it's more than just the balancing, it's managing the resources. It's the way you get exposure, it's franchising. Let's not forget that there's still stuff like the Overwatch League, the Overwatch World Cup, and stuff like contenders. But even in those sections and those parts of the experience, you can see a little drag. The Gladiators might disband after this season. There's teams that have been moving, changing names. The viewership has not been as good as in the first two seasons. I don't know. It might be because I don't see the solution on how they can get it done. I don't see a path forward, that I feel like they need to make a decision. But I might be wrong, and that is why I'm sharing what I'm thinking and kind of posing the question. If you're a competitive player, if you're one of those people that is so focused on hitting top 500, do you feel there's a way forward for you in Overwatch? Do you see a way that it can change the game that would make it more appealing for you? And what would that cost? And for my fellow casual players, well, what do we feel is missing in this game to make it more interesting for us? Now, don't say PvE, please. You were going to say it, weren't you? Right, fine, go for it. Yeah, you can say more free skins. Let me know in the comments. Join me during my streams on twitch.tv/DamesTV and make sure to subscribe for more updates on Overwatch.